So maybe we'll start with a Twitter question. Because I put it out there talking to you guys. And Sharon, Argodes, is at Argodes is her name.
Sharon Vernon.
At what point during this cycle did you decide on the Pledge Music thing? Was it before choosing the producer in the studio? And I thought that'd be a good place to start.
It was long before, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It happened, I guess, halfway through the writing process. It was probably April, probably about this time last year. We decided, we had a meeting with Benji, who's the head of Pledge Music, and he kind of sold us on the idea of doing this ultimate fan club idea. And we thought it was great.
Where did the ideas come from? Like, I wrote some of them down, like Tech for a Day, Hockey on Tour. They're different, they're cool ideas,
We
right?
had a meeting and with the 4 band guys and like our inner circle management and stuff, and we just started spitballing. And the longer it went, the funner it got, you know. So, Jack is a doodler and he's always making artwork on his iPad or on his, in his spare time. And so we thought, well, there's something we can auction off. And his hat, Jack's never seen without his pork pie hat, so that became a thing. And the more we went, we're terrible at ball hockey, but we're passionate.
Hey, speak for yourself.
But we're passionate. So we thought, hey, that'd be a fun thing. So it just got fun, and then we started bringing in the music part and people to come visit us in the studio and sing along with us in the studio. And just sort of went from there.
Singing, the harmonies on this record, I don't know if it's, I just didn't pay attention on the last ones or whatever, because there's so much going on in the song, right? But this record feels like you took the harmonies to a different level.
I think a lot of it had to do with, we enlisted Gavin Brown to produce this record, and he's really smart. He's really musical, probably one of the more talented people we've ever worked with, and he kind of brought out all the best elements of the band on the record. Like, I find, like, he's got the harmony, he really brought out the harmonies well, brought out my vocal well, brought out the bass lines really well, and I just found he kind of made I think it's kind of like the ultimate Trews record. So
is that why it's self-titled?
Okay.
Yeah. Because I heard it was going to be called Rise in the Wake.
It was, but we actually had the cover. Well, for one, we couldn't decide on a title, which is the story of every record. And then we had the cover. We did these one-off shots. It wasn't a photo shoot. It was just the guy who filmed our Pledge pitch video just shot headshots of us at the very end. And we thought he did such a great job. We're like, oh God, we should use that as the album cover. So we had the album cover, but we didn't have a title. And since we were going to be on it, we thought, we'll just call it The Trews. And we have never done the self-titled thing.
It's an interesting spot to do it 7 records in or
we
whatever
wanted to call it Led Zeppelin 4.
Because
they didn't use that yet.
No, it is an unused album title. That's the White Album, for that matter, if you think about it.
Yeah, we wanted to use that too, but
and
our lawyers told us not to.
And the artwork is kind of white on the cover. So
yeah. So Rise in the Wake, it's like, it's that hold me in your arms. She's leaving like that heavy true sound.
Yeah. We like to kick off every record with a barn burner.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to go, when we were recording, I told Gavin, make it sound somewhere between AC/DC Highway to Hell and like U2 Octane Baby. So I said, if we could just make something sound kind of like something in between there. And I think he did. It kind of has this kind of space-aged, really heavy guitar lick with all kinds of cool effects. And
what are you playing? Is it Gibson through Marshall? That's what it sounds like.
Oh, honestly, we did so much guitar on this record. Like, I must have tracked that song on about 7 different guitars. This was, again, like a Gavin thing. He's got this full-on onslaught approach to production, and you sort of take things away later. So I probably did about like 20 guitar tracks on that song, and then in the mixing process they sort of take things away. But I mean, I'm a Les Paul guy for the most part through Marshall, and that's probably what ended up there.
What was it like giving away the control of that to Gavin? You produced the last one, didn't you?
I didn't.
Well, he kind of
didn't give away.
He ended up muscling his way on there.
No, it was actually a great working relationship, because I think I've made records with my band and without my band.
And now for people who want to pledge.
Yeah, and I think that that's right. I think that with Gavin, he trusted me enough to leave me at the helm of a few decisions here and there. So it was a good working relationship. There was no ego involved. We just both there to serve the songs.
Right. Talking about serving the songs, and your voice, dude, like on that Serena Reiner tune, it doesn't sound like you.
No, it wasn't me. No, I'm just kidding.
Because I honestly thought it might be him singing for a second.
No, it's me. It's a register that I actually started singing in and kind of stopped singing in after our first record, because Gordy Johnson, who produced our first album, kind of thought I sounded better in a higher range, and it ended up working out really well for me. But yeah, it was nice to sing down there. And I'm glad we have a song on the record that's strong with a low vocal, because then when you go and have to play songs in the morning, and it's a song called In the Morning, it'll be easier to sing.
And people talk about it because Serena's on it. It's a good way to...
Yeah, and she did an amazing job. She came in and she did that in 2 takes. And, we're super grateful. She's having a crazy great year. And we had just mentioned through a mutual guitar tech that we really liked her last album. And he went over and said, "Oh, the Trews like your new record," and she's like, "Oh, tell those guys I'll sing with them sometime." We kind of called her up and said, "How about now?"
That'll work.
And she did a great job. It's a good duet.
And the cello starts that tune, and then ends a song like 3 songs later with a little fade kind of thing going on.
What's the cellist name?
Anne Bourne.
Yeah.
She's really cool. Really like a friend of Gavin's.
Yeah.
And she's incredibly talented, incredibly sensitive artist type. And she came into the studio and listened to songs and sort of like, felt them out. And then we gave her like multiple passes. And in the case of In the Morning, she just multi-tracked layers and layers of this like ethereal cello that like created this intense mood and atmosphere for the song. It was really, really nice.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like it starts this like 3-song segue almost, where the cello starts, you get 3 tunes, and ends, and there's like an encore tune almost at the end.
I haven't looked at it like that. That's cool.
That's what I'm here for.
Awesome.
Under the Sun is like, I don't know, it reminds me of Making Sunshine. It's got that like just happy friggin' vibe. And they're like helicopter toms or whatever Sean's doing over there. Like it sounds like it's spinning.
I agree. When we made this record, I had this idea where we'd make a video for every song. We ended up not doing that, but one of the ideas I had for that song was just like, I just visualized this in like some open field in like Prince Edward County or something, playing it and having people just dance around. So kind of that was the vibe I saw when we played that song.
I'll keep going through songs, but I want to know how you're going to pull these off live. Like how, like
so
you're
far,
going to have to drop songs out of the set list that people love.
So far, so good. In terms of just being able to play them live, they're all built. They were built Ford tough. I mean, they're road ready for sure. Because we arranged all the drums and bass parts and all the guitar parts to be really big sounding on stage. That is a problem though, because when we did the set out in Winnipeg, we played the kickoff party for the Junos. I mean, we actually didn't play a couple of singles from that.
It's too many hits now.
I guess so.
It's a good
problem to have.
It's a good problem to have.
So, but how do you decide that?
We had to quit. We got too good.
You can't. At the end of the day, you can't please everybody, and I still get people like, not hating on me, but like always at me like, you haven't played that song in like forever. I write the set list, so it falls on me to figure out what we're gonna play every night. But you always have to walk the tightrope of the people who are seeing you for the first time and those who have seen you 100 times. So we have both in our audience on a nightly basis. So try to throw in 1 or 2 things that are, and especially with a new record, you're really stoked about the new stuff. You want to play mostly new stuff. So it's just like a fine line, You can't please everybody.
Have you figured out which song segues into older songs yet? Like which songs sit best beside the older stuff in the set?
Kind of, we're sorting it out.
Okay.
It's still early days.
I know, I'm just curious.
So far, all we know is that Rise in the Wake is for sure the opening song.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it needs to be. That's
Johnny's gonna come flying in on the rafters playing that lick.
That's something new to a Trews show. Yeah.
Spoil the surprise.
Amazing. The Sentimentalist. I hear it's one of your favorite songs on the record.
Yeah.
It's one of my
How'd you
favorite
know
songs.
that?
I do my research.
Okay.
I listen to, I think, 3
This guy does
interviews
his
this
job.
More
love
of this cat.
I love anything that's sort of Beatley.
Yeah.
They're a pretty good band.
Pretty good, yeah.
I enjoy that kind of music, and I like that it has a time signature change in the middle of the song.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't done that before. So yeah, it's a great live song. We've been playing that one live almost for a year.
Yeah, we started playing it over the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Did touring the acoustic, did that change the way you approach songs?
We're getting better at, I think, writing more timeless songs. I mean, maybe someone might crucify me for saying that, but we're getting better at knowing when it's a great song, because we can just sit down with the acoustic guitar and play it, and we're not relying on licks and stuff to make it work. It's like it just works on the acoustic guitar. Even a song like Rise in the Wake, which is the heaviest song on the record, it works really well on the acoustic guitar because the melodies are really solid and the lyrics are all right, and it's like it's good, and we're getting better at that. And maybe that's because of all the acoustic touring. When you strip it all away and you don't have that many effects and that much noise to hide behind, you kind of have to get to the point pretty quick. And I think that's kind of made its way into every one of the songs we write.
Do any of the songs, like the heavier songs, start in acoustic? Or is that too hard to do?
Well, kind of, because the melody, like Rise in the Wake, for example, that was 3 different songs, 3 different melodies from 3 different jams. And they all started as just melodic ideas.
That's right.
And then we just kind of muscled it up
So
later.
the verse was like a finger-picking acoustic riff that I came with, and that Sean reacted to with a melody that we knew was good. And then the what ended up being the bridge and Under the Sun was the old chorus for that song. We're getting really technical now.
No, but I find that interesting how songs, they end up in
it
different
was
songs.
a very, very broken down, intimate finger-picking song that we had melodies for, and I guess we felt would never float on its own, so we just sort of poached the best bits and spread them around into different jams. So some things start on acoustic and end up heavy as hell.
Yeah. We always do 5 questions. You guys have done it a million times, so I thought we'd do something a little different because it's Record Store Day this weekend.
Okay.
Give me one record to recommend to people, each. Not one of your own, but if you were to go into a record store,
Yeah.
what would you want people to pick up? What's one of those front-to-back, timeless vinyls?
Blood and Chocolate, Elvis Costello.
Yeah, Rocks, Aerosmith Rocks.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Great. Although, I want to say
Okay.
as well, just because I rediscovered it recently, is the Ace Frehley solo record, the Kiss Ace Frehley, like the one that was released under Kiss.
Weirdly enough, I know what you're talking about.
Rip It Out. You know that
Yeah,
one?
that's great.
Is that
New York
he's,
Groove,
he's
back
got
in
an
New York
instrumental on that?
Ozone.
Yeah, Ozone. Oh, no, Ozone's
No.
got the lyrics. Yeah, he does have an instrumental. I'm just spacing on the name. But it's
Space Ace.
we actually did a tour with Ace in 2009, which was incredibly fun. It was through the States, mostly House of Blues, those kind of venues. But I recently read his bio, No Regrets, and I'm rediscovering all those old great records. So yeah. That's
Okay, I'm gonna throw a question at you then. When you do go through those old records, that inspire you to write music?
Yes, absolutely.
What records inspired this record?
Well, you were going through a bit of a Lamb Walk kick. I remember that, with the Active
Yeah,
Baby and stuff
lots of
like that.
yeah. I really, sounds like I was really influenced by this rare band named U2. You might have heard of them.
You get it from everywhere.
Yeah, it just changes. There was an album, like everybody always says, why do you always write breakup songs? And I didn't write that many on this record, but it's because of Blood and Chocolate. I got so obsessed with that record, I just thought that unless a song was about some awful breakup, then it wouldn't work. So it was mostly just because of Blood and Chocolate. And I got obsessed with that song, that album, because Gordie Johnson got me obsessed with that record. And it was just almost haunted my life for 6 or 7 years. But also on this record, other influences.
What was that song? Was it a Bad Company song that you kind of
Yeah,
stuck on?
there was a Paul Rogers. He actually sat in with the Sheepdogs, and they did this wicked rendition of The Stealer or something like that. Anyway, it was a wicked song. It's like a Creeper. I hold you in my arms. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. And that inspired a song on the record. I think it inspired Rise in the Wake, or one of the melodies there. So it all comes from music, and it doesn't just come out of thin air. I think it comes from all your influences. And then hopefully it sounds like a hodgepodge of those, and it becomes your own.
Thanks, guys.
Great to see you.
Yeah, you too.